All right. Thanks, Dad. This was that's wonderful.
The guys like oh they asked to use it for graduation. Graduation table all of the clubs are non-stable.
I went to the box and I spent I bought one in, so I went to the store and I got both plates. We didn't have both plates in the house. Cool, that guys. I was waiting for the bus. The first one passed me, but it was too cold. That's what it was. She was like, I gotta put this. That's how I cover myself. I got here on the 10.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome. I'll invite you to take your seat. Right there. Do a little shuffling. While people are getting settled, it's been suggested that I make two little notices and reminders. One, the folks sitting in the balcony upstairs will ask you not to put your water bottles or your phones on that outside ledge. It's tempting, but they have fallen. We never hit anybody. We don't want to start. So watch the ledge. And it is warm in here. We know that windows are open as best we can, but if you need to step outside, please feel free to do that. I want to let you know there is a covered area, a tent outside, and it also has a screen that will be projecting the ceremony. So if you or a family member or a little one just needs a break from the inside, please know that you can go there. Don't hesitate. Good. All the fans moving in the room. That's its own little annual tradition. My name is Sarah Turner. I'm the president at the North Bennett Street School, and I'm so glad to be here with you today. Welcome. I know that we're celebrating a group of people who are active people, your doers, your makers, your builders, but I do want you to try to just like sit still for a minute. Everyone can kind of be still, quiet your mind a little bit. I really want you to take in where you are today and the importance of today. Take in this amazing building that we get to be in. It has such a history and such a legacy, the Old North Church. I want you to feel the accomplishments, all the shared work, yours and all of yours, all the people around you that got us to this point to sit here together today. The Old North Church was built in 1723, so it makes it 300 years old this year. It has seen an incredible and complicated history, as many of you know. We know it for its role in the American Revolution, probably that's how it's best known, but there are so many stories of the people who sat where you're sitting, lived lives, and really were a part of building the history. So I encourage you to look at the Old North Church website. They've done an amazing job telling the individual stories of the people who have been here. So I invite you to spend a little time with that. How's it sound? I feel like it's trying to kick it back to me a little bit. It's okay? Okay, great. Thanks. Back row. Debbie, you got me. Thank you. As I think about being here in this place of history and evolution and challenge and change, that is so much what we're here to celebrate, of course. And we know that the kind of work that gets done by all of you happens on your own. It happens in partnership, happens in collaboration, and those all seem like worthwhile things to reflect on today. Our collaboration this morning is to celebrate you, graduates, and your efforts, our 2023 graduating class. 80 new North Bennett Street School graduates, celebrating with family and friends and fans. I know there are people who cannot join us, and so right here, for discreetly, we are streaming the service, and we have had great success with people able to get to watch friends and families celebrate. So to the extended teams, to the friends, families, fans, thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in from the distance. Because you've really helped our graduates get to stay tuned, and you deserve our appreciation. Perhaps closest to our students here in the shop, in the field, at the bench, are our faculty. Last winter, I had the occasion to write each and every one of the faculty members to recognize that their work represents the highest level of skill and expertise in what are very specialized fields. And their roles ask them also to be excellent craft and tradespeople, leaders and practitioners in their discipline, and very student-centric educators. You ask them to do all of this all at once. Their work is to balance both preserving our fields and advancing them. That is the mission of North Bennett Street School. We're committed to preserving and retaining craft, trade, and knowledge. And at the same time, like all places, we are also adapting, changing, and advancing. And we really look to our faculty to lead that. So faculty, thank you. You deserve so much credit for all the training that you have. And they don't do it alone. We have a new group of people that help them. So thanks are also due to our teaching assistants. It's a fairly new group of talent at North Bennett Street School. Our TAs are short-term assistant appointments that help us give opportunity to recent graduates and to develop a new and diverse pool of talent that will further support our students and our faculty while they're working with us, and then take that experience as they move into the field. So TAs, thank you. My appreciation also goes to the staff. I see them sort of dotted throughout the room. Every day, it's the staff that makes the parts all come together into and connect the strength of our programs and our efforts. They bring new voices and new people to us. They link us to partners and supporters. They help our students navigate the balance between life and school. And they always are thinking about how they can make things better, how they can innovate, what opportunities exist, and how North Bennett can really function as a whole community. None of what we do happens alone, and we're always working towards the mutual benefit of our efforts, and the staff has a really key vantage point to that. So thank you for drawing those connections, making those collaborations. Thanks, staff members. Thank Tony Malione. Thank you, Tony. Thank you for being here. Tony is our organist today. Last year when I was to begin expected and coming from the podium. He's a graduate of both our basic and our advanced piano programs, and having Tony play, having the fife and drum band walk us from school up to the up North Street to the church. It's really important celebration. I mean, these little markers of tradition that help us every year mark a special moment. So Tony, thank you. Every year, when we gather together to launch graduates into their next chapter, it's a moment, as I mentioned, that the whole community really comes together to celebrate. And so I'm so keenly aware of all of the work, all of the people, all of the partners that it takes to get us to this day. I've mentioned so many of those people, so many of those groups there. And so now it's really up to you. And what becomes so meaningful is how our students will then take their skills and their trades out into practice, into application, letting that skill set come alive when it becomes part of the service to community. And our graduates are ready to do this through their relationships built here and through their own initiatives. They're already ready to take that expertise to places like New York, where they'll work with Bob's Terrace and Pianos, places like Minnesota, Ohio, Los Angeles, and Colorado, where they'll work for places like Aspen Music Festival. They'll be working at the University of Cincinnati. Some people will stay close. Some will take positions at the Northeast Document Conservation Center, a long-time North Bennett employer and partner. They'll be working at Mass Lock in Malden, or they'll be working for the city of Boston. So it's all kind of coming together in this moment. Relationships you've made here, relationships that you'll build as you leave. So many of you going into such amazing positions. So congratulations, because you're sort of working for your future at the same time that you're very much in the present. We talked this year at school a lot about North Bennett's role in what we've called the educational ecosystem. North Bennett, we know that we're unique, we know that we're specialized, but we're not isolated and we're not apart. So much of what we're able to offer students and ready them for the next steps is done with partners, as I mentioned. Clients who hire our students to build sheds that will move to their homes, employers and companies that host us for field trips, going to places, locksmithing, for instance, just went to Alloy, we went to Sterrett Tools, we went to Mason and Hamlin Pianos, to Autodesk, all through the initiative of our faculty and our student relationships. We've been working in places like Memorial Hall in Charlestown, on a historic home in Norwell, Massachusetts. We've been tuning pianos in the Boston Public Schools. So there are so many ways that your knowledge and your education will get expanded. And we're really looking forward to seeing how you now cultivate that and pass that on, becoming a graduate, connecting us to our fields and building your own opportunities. This is really because North Bennett exists in a very dynamic and generous community that wants to see our students succeed. So before we send our graduates forward, I also want to thank our board of directors and our board of advisors. These are people who work sort of behind the scenes, out in the community, connecting North Bennett further, advising me, advising the staff, and really being thinking partners for us. They're always thinking about student progress, supporting faculty, valuing staff, keeping us focused on something with a much larger context in mind. So thank you, directors and advisors, some of them here today. Thanks for being here. And with that, I will introduce the chair of our board, also a graduate of our cabinet and furniture making program, Jeannie Thorndike. Jeannie has such a deep heart for North Bennett and such deep commitment to all of the members who make up the school, all of those groups that I've talked about. She's a close thinking partner for so many of us and helps us to keep us really forward focused, thinking about solutions, always thinking about the best that we can offer. So welcome, Jeannie. Thank you for your care and your leadership.
Congratulations, graduates. I imagine you're incredibly proud of all the accomplishments that bring you here today. The challenges presented by instructors, discoveries in materials and techniques, the high standards you mastered, the frustrations that surprised you, the victories that made you smile, and the challenges behind the scenes which no one saw are all what we celebrate today. And today, as you transition from student to graduate, you join our talented alumni who will now be your colleagues for life. I encourage you to seek out, learn from, and even teach fellow alums. Don't be shy. Make that effort to forge connections, whether now or decades from now. And even if you build your network slowly, don't feel pressure to create a perfect path. Journeys with zigs and zags and detours, I think, can be the most fulfilling. You've been trained and educated in more ways than you might realize, and relish what you gain today. The support of talented alums who just might become a valuable connection, colleague, and friend. And in that spirit of valuing and recognizing talented graduates, I now introduce the recipient of the 2023 Distinguished Alumni Award. Each year awarded for professional accomplishments, contribution to industry, and work with schools and organizations to promote excellence in craft. This year's award goes to Isla Sibis, a 2005 graduate of the Jewelry Making and Repair Program. Isla works with recycled gold, silver, and platinum, as well as responsibly sourced stones. She has specialized in lab-grown diamonds since 2014 and is the only jeweler in New England to offer ether lab-grown diamonds, the world's first carbon-negative diamonds made from air. According to Anne Cahoon, our jewelry making and repair department head, Isla is a successful business owner with exceptional skills as a traditional bench jeweler, which she uses to drive her business and brand. She has long focused on sustainability and was an early adopter and thoughtful user of ethically manufactured lab-grown diamonds. We hear companies and individuals say they hope to leave the world a better place, and for Isla, this is a core value. She strives to make her business a space in which all are welcome. Her priority is to create an inviting, inclusive experience and thoughtfully and intentionally push back against toxic norms in the jewelry industry. She said proudly, "I make jewelry for everybody and everybody. However you present, whatever your gender identity, sexual orientation, size, age, race, or ability, I want to give you the shopping experience you deserve and make pieces that speak to your uniqueness." Isla uses her platform to open the door for others who might otherwise have been shut out. She finds innovative, safer solutions to create beautiful pieces of work. Isla is an involved member of our community, a guest speaker, instructor, program advisor, committee member, and a helpful resource to many current and former students. She was the driving force behind bringing computer-aided design into the jewelry making and repair curriculum. And for all of her accomplishments and talents, we are honored to claim her as a graduate. I'm proud to honor Isla Sibis with the 2023 Distinguished Alumni Award.
So first off, I'm a crier, so if I start, I apologize. I'm very honored to receive this award. I care very deeply about this school, and I've always been a proud graduate. The programs you just completed are incredibly physically, emotionally, and intellectually difficult. Learning to work with your hands and craft with a high degree of excellence is not something that everyone can do. You should all be immensely proud of yourselves. However you choose to use your training, I think you'll be surprised at how well North Bennett has equipped you in ways beyond just hand skills. Before coming to North Bennett, there were very few times in my life that I truly had to start over. In school, you write a paper, you edit it, you get a grade. In all of these programs, there's room for editing and tweaking, but more than a few times I was told by my instructors that I had to start over. Materials had been overworked, or a small mistake early in the process had cascaded through every step. When you're making things, sometimes you just have to start over, which on the surface when I got here felt like failure. But Rosemary, Lisa, and Megan, my instructors, taught me that starting over is always an opportunity. You can only know when to start over when you understand your mistakes, and it's the point at which you decide that you're capable of doing better and you give yourself the grace to move on. I've never once regretted starting over. Sometimes it stinks, but it has always been the right decision. It has never been failure or defeat. So my best advice to all of you is to do everything you can to take care of your physical and mental health. You only get one body and life is short. For those of you who represent minorities in your field, take up as much space as possible, because each of these crafts represented here benefits from the diversity that you bring to it. Don't let anyone tell you any different. Take the lessons that you learned here to heart, and most importantly, remember the projects where you had to go back to step one. In business, relationships, and especially with your craft, the second, sometimes third, try is when you get really good. and it's usually when you make the thing you're most proud of. Along with my amazing instructors, Ro, Lisa, and Megan, who we sadly lost earlier this year. I'd like to thank Anne, the current instructor, as well as shout out my mom and my dad, who would have thought this was incredibly cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Isla. It's so special to hear from alumni and to hear them reflect not only on what they do now, but how closely you still are tied to what people are doing right now. And as I look out, I think Isla's not the only one that's starting to move to tears, and it's really, really touching. So as I said in the beginning, like just sit still, feel your feelings, be in the space. It's a special day for that. Each year when I am gathering up names from the faculty and the staff and the board to think about who we would invite to be a graduation speaker, I'm always thinking about who can feel like a gift to graduates on this day. Someone who can set your sights a little farther, who will put your work in a broader context and help us all see ways of giving to community in meaningful efforts through your skill, your passion, your commitment, and your service, all the kinds of things that I've been talking about and you've been working on North Bennett Street School. Right at the season of when I'm thinking about who we'll invite, I heard Chris Cook speak. He was sharing an update from his perspective on leading the Rose Kennedy Greenway, a space, even whether you know it or not, it's a space that you access every day, one way or another, just to get to school. He spoke about the Greenway's work, and in that I heard someone who was thinking on the community scale, he was thinking on a city scale, he was thinking on the scale of history. And I heard someone who understood how Boston is evolving, how the big moves that have been made in the city have been working to open it to more people, and moves that are needed now to reactivate it. I was so glad to know that Chris and his team at the Greenway are really central and key to how people are living in the city, how they're experiencing it, whether they're from here or visiting. For those of you who might not be from Boston, who might be here to visit your graduates, the Greenway is in part this beautiful green ribbon that runs all the way up from Chinatown up to the north end, right past North Bennett Street School. And it's known as a park, that's true, but it's also activity and art and performance and food and fountains. And most of all, it is people, and it is a gathering place. And it's a place that's really a true agent for change and vitality. And it gives us one of the rarest things, I think, which is an opportunity for reflection, relaxation, and rest. And so when I heard Chris speak, I could hear all the past experiences. He's not new to working for Boston. He served also as the city chief of the environment, energy, and open spaces. But I heard someone who cares deeply about this city, and he knows and he understands that his responsibility and the team's responsibility is to give access, to give opportunity, to partner, and really think about being in concert with all of the other talents around in order to give benefit to the people who live and who visit here. So it was easy to think about Chris as a gift to all of you today when we wanted to take a moment to think about how you'll take your learning and your abilities, how you'll improve where you live and work, how you'll partner and collaborate, and how you'll come together with others. So with that, please help me welcome Chris Cook, Executive Director from the Rose Kennedy Greenway.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Congratulations to you. And to the board of directors and board of advisors, the faculty and the staff of North Bennett Street School, and to all the supporters. That's very important. This has been a tumultuous few years for all nonprofit organizations. Adaptation and survival require dedication. As a community of leaders committed to the success of this school, You should be proud of your efforts. The school is here and it is thriving. And this school has never been more important. To the graduates, congratulations. Seriously. And sincerely, this wasn't easy for you. Be proud. Thanks to the supporters of the graduates, whether family or friends, here or not, this success is also yours. You can give them a round of applause as well. And today, while we know that it wasn't easy for anyone, it may have been harder for some. There may be some of you for whom the struggle might have been silent, but immense. Those who were impacted by addiction, mental illness, financial stress, family loss, or countless other burdens that sometimes can present as barriers, you got through them to today. Be proud. We live in a time where completion of work is becoming more vague. Electronic channels of communication, information dissemination, and too often information distortion create an environment where people's work or days can seem taskless. Too many of us live in a world of noise. We are disconnected from our shared reality, not you all. You have learned and completed. By doing so, you have connected to artisan traditions, cultural heritage, teachers, classmates, and the recipients of your crafts and skills. The completed task is done, but lives on in its created connection. The book binded is knowledge preserved. The furniture restored is an heirloom uniting generations. The wall framed is shelter given. The stone set is promise made. The secured lock is loved one's protection. A piano tuned is magic. Connection is fundamental. You are connected to your founder, Pauline Agassiz Shaw, to her commitment to immigrant communities, women's rights, and to the children of this city. You are connected to those who have learned from this school and those who have benefited from those skills and trades and crafts. You are connected to Iowa. You have learned in an extraordinary place and are connected to it. Boston's North End is Boston's first neighborhood. You are graduates of America's first trade school. We celebrate today in America's oldest church, and as critical as it is to our nation's history, it is far more important as the place of celebration and remembrance to countless community members over its 300 years, and you have helped take care of it. Before to Indigenous people, as colonialism grew neighborhoods and waters were filled into as immigrant neighborhoods, by institutions like the North Bennett Street School. How devastating then that in the name of progress, when the construction of John F. Fitzgerald Highway destroyed more than 1,000 buildings and cut off an entire city from its waterfront, contributed to the near eradication of the Great West End and deepened isolation of Boston's Chinatown. But what is the power of connection? Today, a park, after a North End resident, Rose, the daughter of the very highway's namesake, reunites a city with its water, ecological horticulture, community-driven program, and diverse world-class public art. The Rose Kennedy Greenway is a Commonwealth asset, and so it should provide for all, should be welcoming to all, and inclusive to all. By connecting to as many people as possible, we do not dilute our strength, but we strengthen it. We tell the story of the big dig, but also the environmental struggles of Chinatown. We learn the lessons of the Freedom Trail, but also we learn of Zipporah Potter Atkins, a free African-American woman who owned her own home right here on the Mill Pond 100 years before the signing of the Declaration of Independence. We do not diminish Longfellow's poem by telling a more complete story of this building. We celebrate people who are always here. We are connected more fully, more authentically, and our community is strengthened. You are all part of that community. You create literally the physicality of our humanity. You use tools and create what is needed, what is wanted, and what is given. As your craft passes to these objects, you connect to the recipient. You will have an opportunity to teach your skills, sometimes formally, sometimes informally. Always take this opportunity. In doing so, you will help protect our shared humanity. If you're comfortably able to do so, please bring your hands together. And what I want you to do is I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to think a thought. One thought of what you'd like to say to next year's graduating class. If you could impart one word of wisdom to them. Now start rubbing your hands together as fast as you can. Create the friction. It's already warm in here, but when those hands get hot, I want you to keep that thought in your head and touch the wood of this great building. When next year students enter here, they will be warmed by your energy and by your thoughts. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Chris. I knew it would be a gift, and I was right. Thank you so much. It's a hard act to follow, and I don't have Claire as our provost. She is a graduate and former instructor from our cabinet furniture making program, and she will take us through really the most important part of the day, calling each and every one of your names, congratulating you and our faculty as we receive our.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Sarah. As it says in the printed program, finishing the requirements for graduation at North Bennett Street School takes hard work, commitment, and dedication. Today to celebrate the extraordinary achievements of the class of 2023. I'll ask the instructors of the program to come forward first. Graduates, when I call your name, please come forward to accept your diploma. And while everyone is walking around, take a look at the diploma covers. They were made by our bookbinding students. And the table holding the diplomas next to Sarah was made by graduating students Svetlana Deniva. Please welcome bookbinding instructors Jeff Altepeter, Martha Kearsley, and teaching assistant Ariana Rutledge. You will notice that the diploma covers that the bookbinders are receiving are a little bit different. Those were made by student mentees for their graduating mentors. Graduating today in bookbinding, Nicolene Meyer. Haley Morin. Rachel Payne. Sarah Hines. DJ Yuta. Mimi Leikerman. Please welcome violin making and repair instructor Roman Varnas and teaching assistant Nathan Abbey. Graduating today in violin making and repair, Emily Pelletier. Please welcome and security technology. Graduating today in locksmithing and security technology, Vance Battersby. Richard Britton. Dante Ingram. Mark Kinsley. Please welcome jewelry making and repair instructor Anne Cahoon and teaching assistant Mariah Doe. Graduating today in jewelry making and repair, Audrey Gorley. Isabella Dealey. Please welcome cabinet and furniture making instructors Stan Thea, Ryan Messier, Lance Patterson, Matt Wade, and teaching assistant Aiden Fitzgerald and Emily Cox. Graduating today in cabinet and furniture making, Alexander Began. John Boyd. Holland. Svetlana Geneva. Aiden Fitzgerald. Rex Hansen. Rex Hansen. Benjamin Codis. Douglas Nelson. William O'Connor. Rob Thompson Ramsey. Billy Tilton. Graham Wilson. Please welcome carpentry instructors Peter Smith, Brock Lyon-Decker, and teaching assistant Callahan Ross. Graduating today in carpentry, Michael Albert, Thomas Lee, Derek Carl. Kristen Connolly. Yeah. Andrew Draper. David Gray. Joseph Hayes. John Hyman. Jonathan Hernandez. Kevin Provost. Dave Kent. Michael Lane. George Lorraine. Victor Marquez. George Montgomery. Timothy O'Brien. Wally Kaderi. Camden Quay. Campbell Rogers. Roman Stewart. Corey Vance. Ethan Wall. Welcome the preservation carpentry instructors Stephen O'Shaughnessy, Michael Burry, who's joining us through FaceTime. And France working on the restoration of Notre Dame Cathedral. And teaching assistant Tom Eldridge. Graduating today from preservation carpentry, HR. David Clark. Kevin Green. Marco James. Anna Wilkinson. Teresa Petito. Chris Pianta. Alexandra Schmidt.
Please welcome the technology instructors, Debbie Sear, Louis Delbeni, Emily Townsend, Hillary York, and teaching assistants Corey Milak and Will Roper. Graduating today from basic piano technology, Harrison Applegate Glitch. Carrie Brown. Sydney Brennan. Lucas Chipola. Sarah Evans. Jennifer Gold. Rico. Peter Lee. Aaron Lloyd Romero. Adrian Moxinger. Kelly Murray. Savannah. Lion Rivera. David Rule. Megan Warren. Graduating today from advanced piano technology. Ryan Burford. Nathan Bowman. Brittany York. Before we leave, I have a few parting words, and there will be crying. The first time I attended a North Bennett Street School graduation was when I was a new cabinet and furniture making student in 1994. Walter McDonald, my predecessor, who is sitting in the corner over there, was in this spot announcing the names. And when he finished, he had some words of wisdom and encouragement. Which I found so inspiring, that I've been back for every graduation since then. Long before I worked here, even when I didn't know anyone who was graduating, I would walk over from my shop. I sort of thought of it as my annual pep talk. If I can, I'd like to share those same words with you today, and I hope that you'll find them as inspiring as I still do. We may be almost finished here, but it's far from over. There's a lot more to do. There will be mistakes from which you will learn. There will be customers you hope never to see again. New methods, equipment, and materials will change the way you work. You will get better and faster. If you don't get it right, you have a chance to do it better the next time. There will be wonderful customers for whom you will do work over your entire career, and they will recommend you to their friends, and they will become your friends because of your work. There will be a time when you finish a job, look at it and realize that a short time ago, you could not have done it and you would not even know where to start. And you will realize how far you've come. So in closing, may your tools stay sharp. May your work be scheduled a year in advance. May your customers always be satisfied, pay in a timely manner and without argument. You have skills and knowledge that few people share. You can use these skills to make life better for others, and you can be justifiably proud of jobs well done. So now we're finished. It's time for you to go out there and do great work. Congratulations.
Thank you.